Duckies, I went to Six Flags yesterday and my voice is shot from screaming, but let's talk about online harassment anyway. To start off, what is harassment? Well, Google defines it as aggressive pressure or intimidation. When I think of harassment, I think of someone in a position of privilege abusing someone with less power than them. So that could be workplace harassment, where a boss is sexually harassing maybe an employee. It could be a white person harassing a person of color. It could be a straight person harassing a lesbian. There's many situations where, as quoth the great Jenny Holzer, abuse of power comes as no surprise. So cyber harassment, which is the legal term, is all of that stuff, but online, via email and social media. And of course, there's tons of cases where there isn't a privilege dynamic going on, where it's just some weirdo yelling at you on the internet because they don't like your eyebrows. But a lot of the cyber harassment that me and my friends have faced, it follows certain patterns. As quoth the great Captain Steve Rogers, I don't like bullies. I don't care where they come from. Haley Ju Hoover talked about this last year on the Women of YouTube panel at VidCon, and I'm paraphrasing, but she would be talking to her male YouTuber peers who also make videos, and the guys would be like, oh yeah, Haley, I get mean comments too. This is not a big deal. And then she would have to explain to them that there's a difference between comments that are mean and comments that are grad school thesis long rape and death threats. That is harassment! I have a link to last year's panel in the description, as well as a few more YouTube women, so look below to watch Chescale explain good ways to respond to racist jokes online and off, Kat Black explain Twitter harassment and the Meneminist movement, and speaking of Twitter, Marina from Marina Shut Up maintains great discussion hashtags on hashtag YouTube racism and hashtag YouTube misogyny on Twitter. And for a little more reading, there's a good article from The Atlantic on online harassment and a database of American laws relating to cyberbullying. Know your rights! So that's the preliminary stuff, but really, what is cyber harassment? Well, I can recognize it in my own comments section and inbox I, because it's got slurs, it's talking about my appearance or what I'm doing in the video in a really rude, negative way, or it's a threat to my life and physical safety, or some awesome combination. There's also individual harassers versus groups. So an individual harasser is obviously someone working on their own, and a group of harassers is a group of weirdos working together to make you feel bad about yourself. Teamwork makes the dream work. It's actually really important to recognize the group dynamic, because if you are getting huge amounts of gross comments from a lot of different people, it's possible that they are brigading you. As far as I know, brigading is a specific term used on Reddit, but the concept applies to other online forums like 4chan. To brigade is when one enlightened individual takes a link to something that you're doing on the internet, like your Twitter or YouTube, and they post it on the forum, and they're like, hey guys, look at this freak, let's go harass them because I'm spiritually unfulfilled and I exfoliate with Cheeto dust. And then worst case scenario, they send hundreds of other like-minded heathens to leave their filth on your social media account. While we're defining scary internet terms, dox is another important vocab word. That is when enlightened individuals somehow track down your home address or where you work, and then they post it online. It's never happened to me or anyone that I know personally, but just the idea of it is so terrifying. So please, if you're going to start making YouTube videos, make sure you're protected, especially if you're a minor. If you have a personal Facebook, then equip all the privacy settings. Don't use your full name in videos, don't talk about where you go to schools, don't post pictures of the front of your house. For instance, anytime that I'm filming on the streets of Los Angeles, it's always extremely far from where I actually live. I know this sounds like a lot of precautions, but there are people out there with a lot of determination and hatred, and you can never be too careful on the internet. And I know this sounds scary too, but if you're gonna start making YouTube videos, then I want you to have as much information as possible so that you can decide whether or not you're ready to start making them. And as I've said before, you can keep your videos unlisted, you can make them private just for you and your friends, but if you're gonna make your videos public, then you should be prepared. So that's all the scary stuff. What are the tools we can use to combat this? I'm going to tell you in part 2, because I walked 20 blocks through downtown LA in heels yesterday, and I have a lot of blisters on my feet, and I need to change my bandages. Every step is agony. Today's fact is that 1/3 of women have reported being threatened online, which is horrifying, and if you need a little pick-me-up after this, then I suggest going to listen to Hannah Morose, who is my friend and fellow baby YouTuber. Link to her stuff in the description. And that's all for me. I'm gonna go chug a bottle of Neosporin. Bye, nerds! Menemist.